Oh, hey, baby. What's up? You can't sleep either. Yeah, come sit with me. Well, I was just going to read for a bit, but I can read to you if you want. What are we feeling like? I can read poetry. Of course I can read poetry, baby. I love poetry. Come on. Okay. What are you thinking? We could start with a classic. Yeah, we could go with The Raven. And then I could pull out one of my poetry books and just pick some of my favorites if you want. Yeah? Okay. Well, you get comfy then. Okay. I apologize if I get the words wrong. No, it's been a while. I'm trying to see if I still remember The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. "This," I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Upon here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a steady raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance? I don't remember the word that goes there. Not the least bit obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim, an ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore." Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, I'm struggling. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy, it's hard, into smiling. Straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bed and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunting, ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. But whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Yeah, you caught me. No, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember the words after, the 7th stanza. Shush. Pretend that I know this off by heart. Go. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. You still awake? Oh, there is one that I know off by heart. Yeah, I had to learn it for school. It's La Belle Dame sans Merci. yeah, by Keats. John Keats? Yeah. Yeah, I had to learn this years ago, and it just kind of stuck in my head. Oh, what canal thee night at arms, alone and palely loitering, the sedges withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Oh, what canal thee night at arms, so haggard and so woe-begone, the squirrel's granary is full, and the harvest's done. I see a lily on thy brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on thy cheeks a fading rose fast withereth too. I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairy's child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. I made a garland for her head, and bracelets too, in fragrant zone. She looked at me as she did love, and made sweet moan. I set her on my pacing steed, and nothing else saw all day long, for sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy's song. She found me roots of relish sweet, and honey wild and manna dew, and sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. She took me to her elfin grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore, and there I shut her wild eyes with kisses 4. And there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed, woe betide, the latest dream I ever dreamt on the cold hillside. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, death pale were they all. They cried, La belle dame sans merci, thee hath in thrall. I saw their starved lips in the gloam, with horrid warning gaped wide. And I awoke and found me here, on the cold hill's side. And this is why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedge is withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Yeah, that was one of my favourites at school. I mean, out of all the ones we had to learn, it was pretty fun. I think it was the only one we had to learn that had innuendos in it. And yeah, no, that amused me because I am a child. Yeah, I can keep reading. Let me just grab that one. Yeah. So, this book is, well, it's an anthology, technically. But this one has so many good poems in it. It actually has my favourite one in it. Like, my favourite poem ever. Yeah. No, I know, surprising that I could pick one. It's pretty short. I think I'm just going to read to you until you fall asleep, if that's okay. So, this is The Orange by Wendy Cope. Yeah, this one's my favourite. At lunchtime I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I had a half. And the orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do just lately. The shopping, a walk in the park, this is peace and contentment, it's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list, and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist. Yeah. No, I love that one. It's just really cute. What's a good poem? There is a very long one. Let's do this one first, because it's not as long. This is, I think it's Black Girl Art by Jamila Woods. Poems are bullshit, unless they are eyeglasses, honey, tea with lemon, hot water bottles on tummies. I want poems my grandma wants to tell the ladies at church about. I want orange potato words soaking in the pot till their skins fall off, words you burn your tongue on. Words on sale for 2 for 1, words that keep my feet dry. I want to hold a poem in my fist in the alley just in case. I want a poem for a dude at the bus stop. Oh, you can't talk, Ma? Words to make the body inside my body less invisible. Words to teach my sister how to brew remedies in her mouth. Words that grow Mama's hair back. words to detangle the kitchen. I won't write poems unless they are an instruction manual. A bus, card, warm shea butter on elbows, water, a finger massage to the scalp, a broomstick, sometimes used for cleaning, and sometimes to saw. Yeah, this one is Announcement and Next Steps by Amy Key. In the absence of anything as definitive as blood type or maths, I am delighted to declare I found the back to the earring. Also the mildew is banished, albeit temporarily. I want to share this news with you, a check against the inventory of living. Personalized necklaces point to living. Customizable anything suggests it's all worth it. Sometimes it's, oh, this iced finger bun. Others it's, put something in the diary to look forward to. This is an elaborate mural in an ill-frequented part of the city. My diary is full and the bakery is out of buns. Indoors there needs to be a swap from idle teasels to cacti. Some sort of permanence that works in the way I work. Water, light, a finger touch confirming my edges. I only have cats to verify I'm here. I'm there. I am building up evidence, some bodily, some constructed. On balance, perhaps I am more a person who racks up indicators of taste as proof of living. There are condiments, playlists, preferred linens. I first got drunk on Canzano. Help. There was no one taking notes. I used to dream of sex in a fully upholstered room with no windows or doors. This idea of rabbit fur rugs and button velvet cushions, immaculately conceived. Always snagged on the detail of things. How even did I come to be inside, never mind out? The sex wasn't the point. What I seek is magic like an intact lipstick mirror in an antique handbag, my own nifty crackerjack endurance, or to discover a gulping heart within a privet hedge, or the drowsy quartz of someone's eyes long gone, and to say it. Drowsy quartz, it's like a set of tiny crystals of minerals that like form on the surface of a different stone. Yeah. So like, I don't know how to explain it other than that. That's the best I can do. Yeah. I am dying to be written about in your diary, and my self-involvement extends to endless photographs of my eye makeup, which might be described as signature. FYI, I prefer a fine brush to a pen. What can be said about slush, about the corners cut when cleaning the fridge? What can be said about what is considered to be ordinary? Crucially, love is a desire to be a witness and be witnessed. How you might skate past the provisional. If the house were burning down, I would rescue all the photographs, they'll tell you, or select that option in the quiz. Now the photographs are in the air, and my increments of living too. We can still hold hands, eat noodles with the lights off, have deliberate sex. There is an obscure audience always. My personal schmaltz, strumpet wardrobe, the lacquered soles of dancing shoes. The email I sent has the subject line, no subject. Yeah, it's a pretty good poem. I like that one a lot. Let me find another good one. That's a really good one, I just don't remember where it is. Oh, this one's pretty good. To Sing the Evening Home. Well, They Would Have All That by Mary Jean Chan. To sing the evening home, the lover prepares a pot of lentil stew, her phone lighting up to the news of love's imminent arrival, imagining her lover's footsteps across the swollen field. Damp with longing, her lover's steady hand gripping her smartphone to navigate towards some notion of home. Their flat and unfamiliar place of worship, their bodies growing close and moving apart with the regularity of heartbeat, blood breath. There the lover is, running to catch a bus she knows will take her somewhere so she can feel once again the sensation of lack, wondering at her lover's motions throughout the flat, how her feet must press insistently on the floor with each step, how the orchid must have stretched itself a few millimeters overnight, how the stew must be whispering on the stove and the table set for dinner. The lovers are gentler with each other now, because they have memorized each other's fears like daily prayer. How too much salt brings back the years of loneliness, how a warm bath may be more necessary than a rough kiss after a day's absence of tenderness. The lovers are gentler because they have grown too knowledgeable to love any other way. When one asks the other to fling her onto the bed, the lover might say, "Do you actually want me to?" And the lover might reply, "No, I don't." Such asking becomes routine, almost like walking down the aisle of a supermarket at evening, but it is what they do best as lovers. Beyond desire and its petty dramas, the two women will have their tapestry of days and nights, their hands tempered by love, clasped bodies holding their wounds at bay. Oh no, lesbian poems are so good. So good. And this one is Bad New Government by Emily Berry. Love, I woke in an empty flat to a bad new government. It was cold, the fridge was still empty. My heart, that junkie, was still chomping on the old fuel. Vroom. I start the day like a tired motorcyclist. I want to go very fast and email you about the following happy circumstances. Early rosebuds, a birthday party, a new cake recipe. But today it's hot water bottles, an austerity breakfast, and my toast burns in protest. You're not here, of course, but you live in me like a tiny valve of a man. You light up my chambers. Later I will call to tell you about the new Prime Minister, the worrying new developments, and about how I am writing my first political poem, which is also always about my love for you. In the Kitchen by Chen Jun, and it's been translated by Ming Di. Early in the morning, a doe rises from the bowl, curling upward. He clenches his fists of bean paste, his mouth dripping a black cocoa stream. Hey, I say, have you just smuggled 9 knife mountains and 9 oil pans from hell? Deep-fried ghosts are the sweetest, the crispiest, the most intelligent, even in burned rims, and taste even better with soybean drinks. He droops his sad expressions like Oedipus's crutch, collapsed in the steamer. He squeaks out a sweet smell of duck soup from his soul. Quack, quack. This one is Peanut Butter by Eileen Miles. I am always hungry and wanting to have sex. This is a fact. If you get right down to it, the new unprocessed peanut butter is no damn good, and you should buy it in a jar as always in the largest supermarket you know. And I am an enemy of change, as you know. All the things I embrace as new are in fact old things re-released. Swimming, the sensation of being dirty in body and mind, summer as a time to do nothing and make no money. Prayer as a last resort, pleasure as a means, and then a means again with no ends in sight. I'm absolutely in opposition to all kinds of goals. I have no desire to know where this anything is getting me. When the water boils, I get a cup of tea. Accidentally, I read all the works of Proust. It was summer. I was there. So was he. I write because I would like to be used for years after my death. Not only my body will be compost, but the thoughts I left during my life. During my life I was a woman with hazel eyes. Out the window is a crooked silo. Parts of your body, I think, are the stripes which I have learned to love along. We swim naked in ponds, and I write behind your back. My thoughts about you are not exactly forbidden, but exalted because they are useless, not intended to get you because I have you and you love me. It's more like a playground where I play with my reflection of you until you come back, and into the real you I get to sink my teeth. With you, I know how to relax, and so I work behind your back, which is lovely. Nature is out of control, you tell me, and that's what's so good about it. I'm immoderately in love with you, knocked out by all your new white hair. Why shouldn't something I've always known be the very best there is? I love you from my childhood, starting back when one day was just like the rest, random growth and breezes, constant love, a sandwich in the middle of day, a tiny step in the vastly conventional path of the sun. I squint, I wink, I take the ride. I think immoderately is probably the best way to be loved. Yeah. There is a very good one. I'm not entirely sure if you're awake, but I'm going to read this last one and then settle down. This is Personal Statement by Joshua Jennifer Espinoza. I don't believe I was born, maybe emerged from a soupy formation of gays and other beautiful things instead. I've gone on telling you all about how I created myself, took a photograph of what I was given, tore it up, set it on fire, inhaled its smoke, and grew 20 times my size. All of this has been said. Today, I want to make this space my own and project my light through every surface. I think by now I've earned this. What with the breathing exercises just to leave the house, the hyper-awareness of every blade of grass's movement, and the drinking, and the getting high each night to stave off the nightmares. You know, just girly things. So here's what you need to know. Anytime I'm doing something I'm afraid of. This makes each experience seem new and old at the same time. I'm always like, I don't give a fuck, when in reality I'm literally going to die from how much of a fuck I give. Also, I'm a witch, and I get all my powers from the wind. Wow, aren't I special? Don't you want to love me with all of your heart for the next 10 seconds? Don't you want to rescue me from all the things that make you feel safe? Oh, you're so cute. Okay, well, I'm so glad that me rambling poetry at you was enough to get you to fall asleep. I'm not entirely sure what that says about me reading poetry. But you know what? It's okay. I love you, baby. I hope you have good dreams.